Okay, I am traveling.
Okay.
It is a difference between traveling and driving.
Okay.
Okay, now I understand where you're going with this. All of these traffic things that you're trying to push, they're not constitutional. I'm not in the capacity of driving, and your job as a constable is to protect me from the corporation. Now, you're going to knowingly and willingly violate my constitutional rights. I'm
gonna cut you off.
I'm explaining to you that you can be sued. You can be sued.
That's nice. Are you not going to provide me with your driver's license?
I'm not driving.
Okay. Hello, my name's Patrolman Messina with the Pet Pike Police Department. The reason for the stop is this is no passing zone.
So, listen, in the driver's book, they said that these is the passing zone, the passing lane. If somebody is going under the speed limit, we allow for pass. This is what it says.
We were going 37. This is a 35 mile an hour zone.
The police give you 5 miles per hour, they said. I know.
In order to pass them, they have to be going less than half of the speed limit.
So if I was doing 37 and I was passing somebody at 37, I was only doing 2 miles over the speed limit.
Yeah, it's not a speed thing, it's a passing thing.
Okay, but this is the passing lane according to the driver's books. According to the, put it on the phone, put out the driver's book and show you that this is the passing.
Now, all I need is your driver's license and proof of insurance.
This passing, I'm not telling you.
Driver's license and proof of insurance. That's what I'm asking for.
Okay. Now, I'm going to tell you something also. I am not in the capacity of driving.
Okay.
Okay. I am traveling.
Okay.
It is a difference between traveling and driving.
Okay.
Howdy and welcome back. Today, we take a look at a recent traffic stop out of Ohio that was posted by the channel NeoCam. You can find that channel pinned in the comments or in the description of this video. So, what you're about to watch is the classic "I don't need no driver's license" bit that we see often from state nationals or sovereign citizens. Although sovereign citizen isn't the correct term, we will use it for its commonality. Sovereign citizens or state nationals often believe that they can drive without a license, a notion rooted in their broader ideology that they are not subject to certain government laws or regulations. They may argue that they are traveling rather than driving, claiming this distinction exempts them from needing a driver's license. However, this belief is a misconception and does not legally hold up. We'll get into that momentarily. First, let's get back to the video.
Okay, now, I understand where you're going with this. I understand there's a difference between traveling and driving. I also understand who you find. Mike Prashant Christopher is. He's a planetary postal judge. And I understand what the overturning of Chevron means. They just told you guys to stand down. Okay. All of these traffic things that you're trying to push, they're not constitutional.
Okay.
Now, I know I'm not in the capacity of driving, and your job as a constable is to protect me from the corporation. Now, when I tell you that I'm not in the capacity of driving, that means that you're acting at private capacity now. You're acting at private capacity for a corporation, and that is in violation of our constitutional rights.
I know you're busy enjoying this video, but I need to take a moment to talk to you about something very serious. Only 7.4% of you, that's 23,400, have your notifications turned on and enabled for YouTube notifications. How am I supposed to deliver amazing, educational, and entertaining content such as this video when you have deliveries completely turned off? Now let's talk about the 59.3% of you who watch but don't subscribe. Should I take my shirt off or something to convince you to hit the subscribe button once? Because I probably won't do that. Alright, before we get back to the video, I want you to go check out my website. We sell cool stuff there for people just like you.
Now you're gonna knowingly and willingly violate my constitutional rights.
I'm gonna cut you off.
I'm explaining to you that you can be sued. You can be
care.
sued.
That's nice. Are you not going to provide me with your driver's license?
I'm not driving.
Okay, that's neither here nor there. Are you failing to provide me with your driver's license?
But I'm not driving. I'm a traffic.
That's not what I'm saying.
I usually have my application.
All right, turn off the car. Turn off the car. Okay. Will you provide me with your driver's license?
Are you going to continue?
It's a yes or no. Are you providing me with your driver's license? Yes or no?
Can I speak to your supervisor or something?
He's right there.
Where's he at?
How you doing, sir? What's going on this evening?
I'm explaining to the officer.
Sure.
I am exercising my constitutional right to cut.
Okay. Okay, well, while you're traveling on public roads, sir, you gotta have a valid driver's license in the state of Ohio to operate on that roadway, or else you can't do that. So,
I'm not driving and traveling is not to my constitutional right to bring for that thing that they do have the right to travel. I think it's under UCC-C.
do you have any form of identification?
Can I tell you what's on your UCC?
Can you please step out of the vehicle for me?
Why am I getting up?
Because you're not complying with what the officer's asking and requesting to you while you're operating this vehicle here.
You're breaking my constitution. I'm explaining to you what my constitutional right is. I'm explaining to you that I'm not driving. And I'm explaining to you that if you violate my constitutional right, you're acting in private capacity for a private corporation. And you and the judge in the prosecutor can be sued because of your insurance file.
I'm telling you that you're operating a motor vehicle on this roadway and you got to perform or provide a valid form of identification here, and the officer had a valid reason to stop you. It's simple. If whatever it may be, it could be a minor thing, right? If it is, then we could send you on your way, but you got to identify yourself. I can't hear you. Yeah, I know that. All right, can you go ahead and exit the vehicle? Is there anything on you I need to know about? Do you have any weapons, anything like that? Don't be reaching around for anything. Okay, well, that's not a big deal. That's not a big deal. All right, we're not really worried about marijuana, you know? Okay. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you for letting us know. I understand that, but there are some other issues here while you're operating on this roadway. Can you go ahead and step out with the other officer and we can get some identification and you can sort out what's going on here?
There's nothing going on. There's something down the road.
Okay, well, past the traveling point, you got to identify yourself, sir, and step out of the vehicle for it. You can find work if you can be reasonable.
All right, before you do anything, I see that knife on the floorboard, so don't reach for it.
Oh, that's a steak knife, man.
It's still a knife.
You can grab it yourself.
I'm not reaching in there.
No, it's just a steak knife, but it's not that type of damn knife.
All right. You step out of the car for us?
Sir, I'm just saying, I don't want any trouble. I just want to travel on down the road.
Huh.
I went in the passing lane according to the driver's book. They said
you still have to use your turn signal as well.
Okay. I'm not traveling. So
okay, we're past that.
I'm not driving, brother. I'm trying to explain to you that you're breaking my constitutional right and you know it. I'm telling you it's in public.
We're not. You don't have a right. There's no right to drive. It's a privilege.
I have a right that without license or without tags on my personal property, I'm allowed to travel upon these roads. I am. I do know my rights.
All right, let's take a brief moment to understand the historical context of traveling. In early legal cases, the concept of traveling typically referred to moving from place to place using the common transportation methods of that time: walking, riding a bike, or using a horse-drawn carriage. Motorized vehicles either didn't exist or weren't widespread when these cases were decided, so naturally, they don't mention cars or trucks. As motorized vehicles became common in the early 20th century, courts and lawmakers recognized that they posed unique risks and required specific skills to operate safely. This led to new laws and legal precedents that explicitly addressed motor vehicles, separate from the broader right to travel. Some people, like our friend here, argue that because older case law doesn't mention motorized vehicles, the right to travel means they can drive without a license. They might claim that traveling, a right, is a distinction from driving, a regulated activity. However, courts have consistently rejected this idea. Case law regarding traveling often references foot travel, biking, or carriages because those were the primary modes of transportation when those cases were decided. As motorized vehicles became prevalent, new laws and court rulings established that driving a motor vehicle is a regulated activity, distinct from the general right to travel. The absence of motorized vehicles in older cases doesn't mean they're unregulated today. It simply reflects the evolution of transportation and the law's response to it.
Are you refusing to step out of the vehicle?
What do I have to step out the vehicle? So y'all gonna arrest me and snatch me out my vehicle if I don't step out?
What we're doing is asking for identification in the driver's license. That is required.
Do you have a driver's license?
I'm not driving though. So why am I having to buy a driver's license for a occupation that I am not performing? Performing my constitutional rights. I do the UCC 1-109, I think it is. I can look it up right now. And it tells you that I do have that right.
Okay, we're not here
you
to
guys
debate
are
with you all
violating, man.
evening. We're telling
You're violating
you gotta
my
step out
rights.
of the vehicle for us to provide some sort of identification. I had to do this. So go ahead and step out of the car for us then. Thank you.
Are you forcing me to step out of my car? Don't you tell me. Can I use my gloves? Come here. Okay, I'm just gonna get my gloves, sir. All right, I'm gonna step out. You just say yes, I'm forcing you, and I would have stepped out. You don't have to grab me.
All right, we're getting past that point.
Okay, you could have just said, "Hey, you have to step out." Yes, I'm forcing you. You don't have to. You don't have to just start grabbing all over me and stuff like that.
All right,
sir.
turn around.
I'm not trying to do
anything
to you.
Stop.
I'm not being
Turn around and
aggressive.
face that way.
Dude, I have Parkinson's disease, and I have dementia, and I have this disease in my spine. So please do not handle me in that form of fashion.
All right, put your hands on top of the trunk.
It's cold, man.
Yeah,
can I
put your glove on then?
I think I got another one in the pocket. I mean, can you?
No.
Can you see?
Not right now. Hang on. No, don't reach me. Sit.
There's no weapons. Okay.
So you're looking for gloves? Whoa. No, you got the phone in there and make it.
Do you have anything on you that's going to poke me, sit me, hurt me in any fashion?
Oh,
You don't think so, or no?
No, nothing. No.
All right, finish searching.
You know you guys can be sued for this, right? Hey, man, I hope y'all dead. If y'all cams on?
Of course they are.
Okay. You know who Mark Christopher is? The planetary postal judge?
No, I don't.
Well, not even look him up. You know what the overturning the Chevron means? You don't know what the overturning the Chevron means?
These are your cards and cash. Keep that in your pocket. That's yours.
You don't know what the overturning the Chevron means?
Do you have anything under?
Have you ever heard of the overturning the Chevron? Nope. You guys even never heard of it, huh?
You got them? Okay.
All right. No, you could come back for $250,000. Okay. Come back. I'm just informing.
Okay. Well, I appreciate your information.
Well, you guys better look it up. Everything I just told you, guys better look it up.
All right, go ahead and take your seat.
So I'm arrested now?
Nope, you're just being detained.
Detained is total arrest.
Okay. Are you still going to fail to identify yourself?
If you're going to go ahead and take somebody in that didn't do nothing and arrest somebody that didn't do nothing, riding down the street in America and we call this a free country.
All right, I'm going to read these for you. These are your Miranda rights. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer and have him or her present with you while you're being questioned. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to you to represent you before any questioning if you wish. You can decide at any time to exercise these rights and not answer any questions or make any statements. Do you understand your rights as I've explained them to you? That's a yes or a no.
My name is Thomas, man.
Thomas?
Yes.
What's your last name?
That is my last name.
The male refused to identify. Working that out.
Thomas.
Tim Thomas?
Yes.
All right. You know that providing me any false information is also another offense, correct?
That's the name I go by.
Okay, what is your birth name? If you were to have a driver's license, what would be put on that? Do you have a social security number that you know?
I don't know my social.
You don't know it? No? Okay.
So I had the Parkinson's and dementia. I probably remember a lot of things. I remember stuff, but I was the stuff be foggy, especially if I ain't had my stuff. Like I felt like I keep my stuff today.
Is there any medication that you normally take that you have not taken today?
I usually, I just usually take, if you can feel my heart, you can feel the beat, but you can feel my jitter, but.
I'm gonna just ask you again. What is your first name as given at birth? Whatever would be on a driver's license if you had one, or any legal documentation.
I mean, you already arrested me without no idea and violated all my rights, man.
That's not the answer to my question.
This is gonna take me to jail, so you might as well go ahead and take it to an unidentified man to jail.
We can alleviate a lot of these problems if you just tell us what your name is.
Oh, just go ahead and take that, go ahead and take them there, but I'm gonna sue y'all for arresting me. Y'all don't supposed to do this. I'm asking you to, you're not gonna do anything wrong. I was only just passing that vehicle and you did all this stuff and you see, there ain't no drugs or nothing in that car.
You pulled drugs out of your pocket.
What about the other larger bag of marijuana in the glove box?
And that.
Oh, what about it?
You just said there's no drugs.
Oh man, I mean, I didn't even realize that the shit was in there because there's the people else in there. Shit, I forgot the fucking shit was in there. You see what I had? That's what I had on me. That's what I thought I had. I forgot the fucking shit was in there.
Okay. In
the damn glove department. So, and what that got to do with anything because marijuana is legal.
Okay. Well, if we're asking
legal for marijuana to be in the car, in the body, your person and stuff. Go right in the dispensary and just buy it. And they can buy it. It's no.
Pretty sure you can only have up to a certain amount.
But I know how much it is, and that's under that.
Okay. All right. We will find that out then.
You don't supposed to be, so you know how much it is. You're supposed to be the police. You taking people's stuff and don't even know how much it's supposed to be.
I haven't taken it.
3 ounces. You can have at least 3 ounces. Nothing like 3 ounces right there. And the law passed you, it's even more than that now.
I've been talking with you this whole time. How am I supposed to see what's in the glove box?
I know it's under an ounce in there. It ain't no 2 ounces or no quarter pound and nothing like that. Cause I don't have nobody in my car that carry that much marijuana in there. If they get in there, or they smoke some marijuana in my car, they could get or leave something.
So this is your car?
It's a vehicle that I was traveling in.
Okay, but what you just said is your car.
So, the 10th Amendment to the United States Constitution plays the most critical role in defining the authority of states to regulate certain aspects of life, such as issuing driver's license. And to understand why it gives states this power, let's break it down a little bit. The 10th Amendment states, "The powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution nor prohibited by it to the states are reserved to the states respectively or to the people." In plain terms, this means if the Constitution doesn't explicitly give powers to the federal government, and if it doesn't forbid the states from having that power, then that power belongs to the states or the people. The U.S. Constitution does not mention anything about regulating driving or issuing driver's license. Since this power isn't assigned to the federal government or prohibited to the states, the 10th Amendment reserves it for the states. As a result, each state has the authority to create its own rules and requirements for driver's licensing. This is why you see differences across the country. Some states might require a road test at 16, while others have stricter rules or different age limits. This setup is a cornerstone of federalism, the system where power is shared between the federal government and the states. The 10th Amendment ensures that federal government can't take over every decision. Instead, states retain control over areas not addressed by the Constitution. Regulating driving is a practical example. States manage their own roads and ensure safety within their borders, so they get to decide who's qualified to drive. In short, the 10th Amendment gives states the authority to dictate things like driver's license requirements, because it reserves to them any power not claimed by the federal government. This legal framework allows states to govern local matters, making them responsible for rules that affect daily life within their jurisdictions. Don't forget to subscribe to NeoCam. And if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and subscribe. And leave a comment if you want to see more like this. Until the next one, have a good day.